What's going on, everyone? So there is a lot of talk about a potential Cam Reddish to the Lakers type of trade, right? Something along the lines of Kendrick Nunn to the New York Knicks, along with a couple seconds or a second. I don't imagine it would take a first-round pick. Cam Reddish, based on reports, him and his agent are working with the Knicks to find a new destination for him. The Knicks have been trying to trade him on several occasions. The Knicks also traded Cam Reddish to the Lakers last season in a three-team deal with the Toronto Raptors until the Knicks got greedy, ended up having the deal fall through, and then Cam Reddish doesn't come to Lakers. Cam Reddish is essentially everything the Lakers need right now. A sizable wing, 6'8", good wingspan, good size, could play both forward spots, and could really make an impact on this team. He's a guy that really hasn't gotten a fair shake, a fair opportunity. When he was on Atlanta, he was the rookie, the young guy, and Atlanta immediately went and got these vets that played the same position as him. So he was kind of the odd man out in that scenario. So then he goes to the Knicks, where Tibbs didn't want him. Like, Tibbs literally told Jalen Rose, like, hey, do not trade for him. They end up trading for him, and Tibbs just never really gave him a fair shot, right? For whatever reason. Now, there are some talks that, Cam Reddish, even dating back to Duke, that Cam Reddish's work ethic is a bit of a concern, but he's young, and on a team like the Lakers where you have LeBron James, Anthony Davis, you have Darvin Ham, who's just really kind of gotten everyone to buy in, and he's just one of those like player coaches, he seems, that you just believe in and believe that you could run through a wall for him. I think it could be hugely beneficial, and plus it's just a sizable player that the Lakers really need. Any kind of production you could get from him is essentially better than what you're getting from Kendrick Nunn and Patrick Beverley. So any production, and you're trading a guard for a wing, which is, again, hugely beneficial. He's like 22 years old, so there's nothing but upside for him. He's only likely going to improve and could be a real cornerstone for the Lakers going forward. But we also got other reports that the Lakers and the Knicks have had discussions, some in potential three-team deals, but also a potential deal that would see the Lakers get Cam Reddish, but also get Evan Fournier and Julius Randle. So in the original reports of Cam Reddish, the Knicks kind of want to dangle Cam Reddish as like a bait to also get teams to take Evan Fournier. And Evan Fournier is having a very rough year this year. Evan Fournier and Cam Reddish essentially have fallen out of the rotation, and his contract, he's still got 2 years. He's making like 18, 19 million. Somewhere in that ballpark, and they're going with the younger route, right? The Knicks want to go with McBride, guys like that, and just kind of go the young up and coming player route, kind of get them their development, kind of get off to the races, and kind of try to grow and build this team. So Evan Fournier makes a lot of sense to get rid of. He's got some decent size, 6'6". He's got a good three-point percentage for his career, and he's been a solid scorer for his career. 15 points per game, about 38% from three-point range. So he would be a nice fit if he could kind of get back to that Evan Fournier, right? A lot of it could just be change of scenery. He's with the Knicks. The Knicks aren't very good, for one. Two, he's kind of the odd man out. He's not getting a real fair shake. Tibbs, I'm not very high. I have never really been high on Tibbs as a coach. I think the Knicks need to get rid of Tibbs, but for whatever reason, they seem to really like Tibbs. And so the Lakers could take on Evan Fournier and then also Julius Randle in exchange for Russell Westbrook, right? So Evan Fournier, they really want to get rid of. Julius Randle, he's got the long-term salary. It would make sense for the Knicks. But also, based on the reports, the Lakers wouldn't have to give up any first-round picks. So basically, you would get Cam Reddish, Evan Fournier, Julius Randle for Russell Westbrook and no first-round picks, which it's hard. That would be hard to say no to. Now, there have been reports, because the Knicks have and the Lakers have explored this very deal before, right? During the offseason, there was lots of talks about something like this, even with Derrick Rose potentially included in this deal. Maybe the Lakers could still get like a Derrick Rose, something like that, in a potential trade, because Derrick Rose is kind of the odd man out as well. So this isn't like a new conversation, but the Lakers weren't really keen on Julius Randle because of his long-term salary. But the Lakers, if you can keep your first-round picks, the way Anthony Davis is playing, the way that LeBron is still playing, the Lakers kind of have to make a decision, right? Do we go all in, push our chips to the table, kind of do a roster rehaul to get us, some pieces that we can now contend with and, hopefully maybe win a championship or two and then worry about it later on down the road? Or do we try to, go the safer route, hold on to the picks, hope that this team can put together, maybe do a small minor deal, and then, go that route? So also the free agency market in the offseason isn't very high. Half of the free agents that were available are already I've already signed extensions, so they're off the market. And the ones that are there are all guys that like the Lakers aren't really going to become huge contenders with, right? And they're already players that the Lakers could acquire right now. Like, like a Miles Turner, for example, a Gary Trent Jr. Like, how high are they on Gary Trent Jr., right? Like, outside of that, there's not really anybody. Like, Bojan Bogdanovic, he signed an extension. James Harden isn't going anywhere. Like, there's no real big names to where it's like, man, we should wait. Like, the only one is Kyrie Irving, but what, like, does Kyrie come? Does he not come? Like, do you really want to wait around for him? And if Kyrie does want to come to the Lakers, then you could probably work out some sort of sign and trade if you wanted to with the Nets, because the Nets are going to want to get something for Kyrie Irving if he walks and leaves. So if you're the Lakers, you're better off just pushing the chips to the table. Now, personally, I'm not super high on this deal. I do think Julius Randle, you're getting a 20-point per game guy that can play, the power forward next to Anthony Davis. LeBron can shift to the 3, or you could have LeBron kind of play point and go really big. Like, imagine a starting 5 of LeBron, Walker, Cam Reddish, Julius Randle, and Anthony Davis, right? Like, that could be a very size. Now you basically have size. Like, you got everything, right? And that's kind of the idea of this deal. The idea of this deal is that this gets Lakers the size that they desperately need in an Evan Fournier, in a Julius Randle, in a Cam Reddish. Although Evan Fournier, he's a serviceable defender, but he's not like a great defender. And Julius Randle, same thing. Julius Randle's a serviceable defender, but he's not a great defender. Although Julius Randle gives you flexibility. Problem is Julius Randle's kind of just average, in my opinion. He's playing like 35 minutes a game, roughly. He's shooting about 34% from 3, and he's giving you about 20 points per game, right? But if this was Julius Randle from 2 seasons ago now, where he was like 40% from 3, averaging 25 a game, like that, basically the Julius Randle that got that massive extension, if it was that Julius Randle, yeah, sure, get that guy. But he's kind of averaged out and shown you the kind of player he is, right? He had that amazing season. Then last year he had a terrible season and was one of the worst players in the league as far as like production per minute and the type of role that he was. He was awful. And then this year he's kind of averaged out and gotten back to like, what people expected Julius Randle to be. But that could help, right? You get another playmaker, you get another guy that can spread the floor a little bit. You got to at least challenge his shot. He's at least serviceable. He's basically an average three-point shooter, right? He's not elite. He's not great, but maybe he could be. Maybe next to Anthony Davis and LeBron James, maybe he could, because he'd be going from like the number 1, number 2 guy to the number like 3 or 4 guy. So maybe you get better production out of him, and in the time that he is in there, you can get better production. He also could help with some of that energy and just like him just getting downhill, things like that. Evan Fournier, obviously, he's been a solid shooter. He could be your, kind of 3-and-D style player, but he's got multi-years on his contract. Cam Reddish. But if you don't have to give up any picks, then what that does is that also that gives you both firsts. That gives you Damian Jones, Juan Toscano-Anderson, Patrick Beverley, and Kendrick Nunn. Those 4 guys. Now you could use those and another first, or one first, and maybe go get a Bojan Bogdanovic, or maybe you go do the Hornets deal. Maybe you could get a PJ Washington and a Kelly Oubre, or maybe you do the Spurs deal or something, And this would, if the Lakers really are considering this, and this is a real thing, then this is a roster rehaul, right? You're now putting the pieces together that you believe could be a contender for the next 3 years, right? That's basically what it is, because you're stuck with this team for the next like at least 3 years. So at that point, you're kind of like, all right, let's push all our chips to the table and go all in. So then you would take, so basically you get Julius Randle, Evan Fournier, and then Cam Reddish, right? You're probably trading Russell Westbrook and maybe Damian Jones at that point, just to kind of like, just as like filler. One, and you got to clear a roster spot, because you basically be doing a 3-for-1 swap. You have Russ's spot, and then you have the vacant 15th spot. You got to unload somebody to get to clear that. So I imagine they would add, Damian Jones or Toscano Anderson or somebody like that. So you basically unload one of those pieces, and then that gives you, like I said, that would give you Patrick Beverley, Kendrick Nunn, and maybe Damian Jones or Toscano Anderson, whichever other one you keep, which now can go get you another piece or two, and you basically just roster rehaul, right? So this would be a move where the Lakers say, okay, Julius Randle, Evan Fournier, and Cam Reddish are the three guys that we believe can really kind of take us to contention and be the solid role guys around Anthony Davis and LeBron James, right? That's basically what the idea would be. Now, obviously, in this scenario, they would also lose Walker. Not this year. They'd have Walker this year, but you're probably not signing Walker, and you're probably not signing Austin Reeves. Maybe you could keep Austin Reeves. But ideally, this is your team. This is basically what you got. However, if I'm being honest, I don't think the Lakers are going to be able to keep Walker regardless. I just think Walker's playing himself in a too big of a contract, and I just think that there's a team that's going to look at him and go, man, he's averaging, 17 points a game as like the fourth option on the Lakers. Imagine if he was like the first or second option. He's 23 years old. Like, there's a team out there that's looking at him and going, man, like he could be a solid piece for us for the future. And they're going to offer him probably a reasonable contract that's just too rich for the Lakers' blood, right? And so if you're the Lakers, you're probably taking that into an account. And then, you're moving Bev Nunn to go get another piece or two. Hopefully you could do a 2-for-2 swap or a 3-for-2 swap, and then maybe keep a roster spot and then see what the buyout market is. And now you just got a whole new roster. But that team is going to be the team you're going to have for the next several years, right? So you're not going to have that turnover, which has been a big issue, right? And so if you can then go get, say, PJ Washington and Kelly Oubre to add to Evan Fournier and Julius Randle and Cam Reddish, well, now you solved basically all your holes, all your problems, right? You got your wing depth. You got a bunch of size, right? You got Kelly Oubre, PJ Washington, Julius Randle, LeBron James. You got Cam Reddish, right? You got basically now 5 guys that are 6'7" or above. And now you're in a much better position. You got depth. Now you're legit 15, 14 guys deep, if not more. So this is a team that I could see going and actually like competing for championships. Or maybe you go and get Miles Turner right at that point. Maybe you take Patrick Beverley, Kendrick Nunn, and Toscano Anderson and a first and go get Miles Turner. Although then what happens with Julius Randle? Does Julius Randle come off the bench? I don't really think you could play him at the 3. I don't think he's quick enough to guard most threes in today's NBA. But maybe you have Randle come off the bench, although he is making quite a bit of money. But you can kind of justify it, I guess, because Russ is coming off the bench and he's making $47 million. So, have Julius Randle come off the bench and play 25 minutes. I don't know. I just, at that point, like if you got Evan Fournier, Cam Reddish, and Julius Randle, you basically got your size. So all that's left would be, in my opinion, would be 3-point shooting. So maybe you go look at Buddy Hield. And then that gives you another like kind of 3-point sniper. Because at that point, like I said, you're basically getting 3 guys that are all sizable wings. That is the main weakness that the Lakers have. Or maybe you go look at the Spurs deal. Go get Jakob Poeltl, right? Go get Jakob Poeltl and go get Josh Richardson. And then now you have a center, and Jakob Poeltl, you could have him come off the bench, and have him back up AD, or like games that Anthony Davis isn't playing, you could have, Jakob Poeltl. Like that may be something that may be worth it. The Spurs deal at that point might actually be the best deal, because you could get Josh Richardson and you could get Jakob Poeltl. Jakob Poeltl probably doesn't cost as much as Miles Turner in free agency, so you could re-sign all those guys. Because again, whatever deal you're doing, this is your team. That's it. If you're really doing this, you're doing this. Like, you're going all in. You're pushing your chips to the table and saying, all right, let's go try to get a championship this year. Especially with the West so wide open, it would make sense. Don't get me wrong, I don't want to see Russ go. It would suck. But I do understand the idea of, like, getting pieces for Russ, because you like, are you re-signing Russ next year? And if you do, how much? And, are you able to put enough around Russ, LeBron, and AD to win a championship next year? I don't know. So, if you can turn Russ into 3 productive players, the concern is just, if how does Julius Randle fit? Like, if Julius Randle doesn't fit well, you're in trouble. If Evan Fournier can't kind of get back to the regular Evan Fournier, you might be in trouble. You know what I mean? Because Evan Fournier is averaging like 6-7 points a game. Like, that's not going to do it. Like, you need Evan Fournier to be at least 12. At least get you to 12, if not 15, which maybe he does. Change of scenery, playing next to LeBron James, playing next to Anthony Davis. He's going to get open looks that he hasn't really gotten in a long time. He's going to be in a position, he's going to be on a team trying to actually win and go for a championship, as opposed to like the Knicks that are just like playing the young guys. And so, he might feel a little invigorated. Julius Randle, he kind of gets to go and get back to the Lakers and kind of, be the third option on that team now. And maybe that's, in reality, that's where he belongs. Not necessarily the Lakers, but like, a third option. I don't really look at Julius Randle and think he's, the best player on a championship team. I don't even think he's the second best player on a championship team. I think he is, your third or fourth best player on a championship team, because I think realistically, he's a guy that should be giving you about like 15 and 8 a game, right? Like, if he can give you 15 and 8 a game on the Lakers, that is perfect. That is beautiful. That is all you need. And then plus he's going to trickle in, 4 or 5 assists. So if he could give you 15, 8, and 4, let's say, perfect. He would be beautiful on the Lakers, right? On an efficient clip. If he's taking 25 shots, then that's not very good. But, if he can do it on an efficient clip, couple handfuls of shots a game, be a guy that can kind of help run the second unit and kind of play the Russ role, because you can run your offense through him. I mean, the Knicks do it all the time. So that could be nice. If he can be that 15, 8, and 4, perfect. If Evan Fournier can kind of be like, a 10 to, 12 point per game guy, maybe off the bench, perfect. And then Cam Reddish, if Cam Reddish can just be a 3-and-D guy, give you, 8 to 10 points a game, perfect, right? Defend, knock down some shots, put up a couple buckets, boom. Now you basically just got the production that Russ was providing, right? But you're also getting more scoring. So you're getting the playmaking, you're getting the defense, you're getting everything, and then some. So that would be more productive than what Russell Westbrook is doing, right? And you're deeper, and you have more talent, and you have a team that could probably compete. And you're not giving up any first-round picks, which the Lakers don't want to do, right? The Lakers don't want to give up any first unless it's for, an all-star caliber player. And the Knicks, this makes perfect sense for the Knicks, because they want to go young. They want to go the young route. They have all their assets, all their pieces. They have everything, right, to kind of like do this rebuild. And they have Evan Fournier and Julius Randle on long-term salary, right? And those are like the two odd men out in many ways. So to them, it's like, yeah, we'll take Russ, because we take Russ, we're clearing off, $150 million over the next, 4 years. Perfect, right? And now we can kind of hit the reset button. We can go with the young guys. Like, the Knicks, this deal makes all the sense in the world for the Knicks. Like, I would, like, if this deal was on the table, I would be shocked if the Knicks said no. Even if the Knicks didn't get any draft picks, I think they'll probably get like a second or two. But if the Knicks, like, let's say the Lakers are like, we'll do it, but we're not giving you anything, I would be shocked if the Knicks said no. Like, shocked. Because they're like, this clears their books, this wipes their board, right? And they just paid Cam Reddish, or not Cam Reddish, RJ Barrett, right? So this is a heaven sent to the Knicks. It's just doesn't make sense for the Lakers. And I don't know. I don't know how much I like this. I guess it would depend for me if they did this deal. It would depend, one, how productive are these guys, right? Like, again, if Evan Fournier could kind of get back to being, the Evan Fournier of the past, 38% three-point shooter, 15 points per game. Like if he could get back to that Evan Fournier and Julius Randle can be like a 15, 8, and 4 guy, perfect. Yes, let's do that. Shoot 36%, 35% from 3, perfect. Let's do that. Cam Reddish, 3 and D, young player for our future, perfect. Let's do that. Yes, these 3 I think would be spot on. Also, it would also depend. The second thing would be, what else do the Lakers get, right? Because if they just sit on those firsts, I'm not really big on that, right? Because at this point, like if you go and do this deal, you need to go all in. You need to go get that. You need to go evaluate, see what are we missing here? What do we need? And you go get that. If it's a center, and another wing, if it's whatever, if another wing player or 2, whatever. If you need a scorer, whatever it is, whatever you need, you go get it. You go do that. You push your chips to the table. Now you got all your firsts, and you're in a good spot. So anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Would you do this deal? Would you not do this deal? Do you think that this deal would make the Lakers a contender? Do you think it doesn't? Do you think, no, they would need more? If the Lakers did this deal, what follow-up deal would you want with Patrick Beverley, Kendrick Nunn, and let's say, JTA? Let's say those 3. So that gets you to about, 25, 26 million in players that you could bring in. So, would you do like Sadiq Bey and Bogdanovich? Would you do, Kelly Oubre and PJ Washington? Would you do Josh Richardson and Jakob Poeltl? Would you trade for just Buddy Hield, just Miles Turner? However you feel, whatever your thoughts are, let me know down in the comment section below.